Is Bob here?
No, Bob didn't make it that day. But yeah, I posted it on YouTube, and yeah, it was well received. I like posted it on the group for my old ship I was on, and yeah, at that time we were talking about the the secession movement and all that crap that was going on, and yeah, so it was.
Get a knife. Or the butter.
Not spoons.
Over there, it's probably more.
Plenty of spoons. Oh, there we go.
That'd be good. Thank you.
Here we go. But yeah, so yeah, I was gonna actually try to stream it live, but I need an internet connection to do that. I'm trying to hook up to their network here, but it's not I need the security key and all that kind of stuff. So, but anyway. But yeah, there's veterans out there that are on the internet. And
well, I had actually another guy, Mike, came by one time.
Yeah, because I've missed 2 weeks. I've been gone for 2 weeks, or has it been 3 weeks?
I invited him, and he came once. He missed last time. His name is Mike. What is his name? Mike. I got it written down.
Glasses, beard.
Well, yeah, it's good. See, what is his name? I wrote it down. Mike Gomez.
Mike Gomez, no.
Or yeah, Gomes. G-O-M-E-S. Gomes. It is over by us.
What's he look like, Dan?
Well, he's a heavy-set guy.
Taller or shorter?
Well, I suppose fairly tall. Not real tall, medium, I guess. He actually has a artificial limb because he got a leg
okay, not
out.
the guy I'm thinking of then.
But I don't think you might not have ever seen him.
Probably not.
He doesn't get out that much. And he does live down by us on Curly Jack there.
Oh, really?
You know where the Sutcliffes live? That road that says it has a big saw blade on by the road, and it says Sutcliffe, and it has like 3 dresses on it. You know where our house is, right?
Not precisely.
Okay, okay, you go over the Elk Creek Bridge. You know where that is. And then you go past Doug and the lady that works at the bank, Doug and Jeannie. You got that log cabin, brand new log cabin on the right side. That's the first one. And then you go a little farther, and there's Memory Lane.
Yeah, because that's where one of Rosemary's Rentals is down there.
Is down that road?
Yeah, it's down that road.
Okay. Anyway,
it's right next to that piece of property. I don't know that.
Okay. I don't know where all the places are, but I know some of them. Anyway, that one, you go a little farther, and you know the road that goes to the left. There's several houses up there that has it used to have a trailer in the front there, but now it's
I've actually never been past no farther down Curly Jack than there.
The bridge?
No, than that Memory Lane place.
Because
that's my only business has been to go to that rental.
Do some work for Rosemary?
Yeah, to do repair work and stuff. Cool, huh? So I've never been in.
Anyway, we're a little bit farther than that.
Oh, you're farther than that. Okay.
Not very much farther, but a little bit farther.
Well, shoot, I might have to go wandering down that way one of these days.
That's you go a little farther, and you see a white picket fence. That's our house. The house is back a bit from the road. Blue house.
Okay.
There's a little blue shed behind the picket fence. when you're looking at it.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at maybe getting a place in Hamburg.
Good. Is that more fitting where you want to be?
Well, no, just I mean, a friend of mine, Dan, is looking for a new place to live, and my accommodations are rather bachelor and Spartan. So yeah, we're looking at a couple properties upriver, and there's just one in Hamburg that really looks nice. Might even write an offer on it.
Yeah. To rent or to buy?
Buy.
Yeah, might as well.
Like 152,000, 9 acres.
Whatever you want, I guess.
2-bedroom house.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, right on the river.
That's where the place that you're looking at?
Yeah. I mean, it's got actually the 10 acres bisects the highway and the river. So there's property on both sides of the river. So it looks like there's going to be like an acre.
It isn't that place that has the big old barn and stuff?
No, I guess it's farther down from there.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The old barn?
Yeah.
You can see this obviously split down.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there by the road. That barn is right by the road.
It's like the road went right through his middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
No, actually, no. This one is.
You know Bill Roberts? He's the guy that does cowboy poetry and stuff.
And
he rides a horse all the time and prays and stuff.
No, I never. Actually, I've yet to.
He's a trail guy, actually,
right here. But actually, it's right on the edge of town, right before the sign for going into Hamburg.
Okay, now I know where you go to that big barn on the left side where you gotta.
Yeah, that's like way before town, though. I think if you're going, upper.
I mean, you look at some of those places and you say, that must have been something at some time because why would anybody have a big old barn like that? I mean, you don't just build a barn like that for nothing. I mean, you usually have animals and all kinds of stuff.
Back then, they needed horses just to, get up and down the river.
That's probably part of it, huh?
Before
you look at the other place where they sell eggs. Back, this is no monument. Big sign is no monument. The big old barn and all kinds of stuff back in there. They still probably have some livestock and chickens and stuff there now, anyway.
Oh yeah.
That one place where you turn left and you look over in the field, and no monument, something like that. You look to the right and you see this old rusty roof barn with a little house. And anyway, that's been there for 100 years or more.
Forever and a day. But yeah, it's yeah, amazing. Some of these old buildings and stuff. But yeah, that might be interesting because I love this area.
So who owns the house you're looking at buying?
I'm not sure. It's a listing.
Party?
It's a listing with River Connect.
Oh, private party. I mean, they're selling.
Yeah, through River Connect. Yeah, I've been talking to Carol. Last couple of days. And then this other property in Horse Creek too.
Yeah.
But no house. No dwelling or anything. Which is kind of good or bad because actually Dan wants to build a cabin or something like that,
Well, somebody built a new place on the right-hand side. Look down. On the right-hand side, there's a new house there. I think it's in Hamburg.
Well, somebody built a fence around that old house.
No, this is
that yellow one. That old yellow one.
No, there was an old house down there that I think that burned or something. They tore it down. And
oh yeah, going out of town.
On the right-hand side, toward the river.
Mm-hmm.
That came out kind of nice. We were watching them. They had it all cleaned out, and they went down to bare dirt, back down to the basics, and started over. You know.
Right.
And some of those old places, you look to see it all caved in and everything, and kind of sad when you see. You know that in the past that probably was quite the place. You know.
Oh yeah, well.
Like that one store where the whole front just kind of caved in.
In Klamath Falls.
Well, that's in.
Or that's before Klamath Falls.
There's no Klamath Falls is up by Medford.
Oh.
Corn muffins. Yes, it's homemade chili.
Hello.
I'm not staying away from you guys.
How you doing, Lou? You don't sound very good, brother.
I'm not.
Well, you're on video now, boy. You better watch out now. You got it all recorded.
Yeah, you were quite the star for your last
previous episode.
Your last performance.
Yeah. Oh, what did I do?
Oh, what you were saying about
he's got it all recorded.
Secession and
he's got it all recorded.
All that kind of stuff.
It's for prosperity. It's for they say posterity, but he's doing it for prosperity.
I've heard of posterity, I've never seen it.
How about prosperity? You can do prosperity, though, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I posted that little video that I shot last time, just to see what would happen, and it was actually well received.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I guess there are people out there that would rather listen to us BS than watch Dancing with the Stars.
Well, unfortunately, the truth may not always be popular.
But it needs to be heard.
It's the truth.
And it needs to be heard.
That's right. It's always the truth.
Anyway, Dorian said that Tim's coming tomorrow.
Tomorrow? On Thursday?
He's been gone. I guess he came last month. I missed it. I forgot.
I should maybe drop by and
I'm just gonna come by and say hi.
see him. I'm not sure. Last time I saw him, I asked him for advice and trying to get an answer out of Oakland, but
put him in the microwave, Lou.
No?
he didn't
She
have
said to
any.
put him in the microwave because it's been in the freezer right now.
He didn't have a silver bullet for me, unfortunately.
How long?
Oh, maybe a minute, huh? Maybe. 30 minutes, 30 seconds. A minute, probably 30 seconds, probably. Not very big. So.
Oh, I got a nasty. Can't shake it. Been 2 weeks now.
Oh man. I've been fortunate so far this year.
Hey, Dan.
I got one, thanks.
Sure.
What do you want? 1 or 2?
I'll take 2.
2.
I'll take 2.
I'll stay too, Chris.
They're super good. Give Dan some competition.
I don't know about that. Man, you put away some food.
So where are y'all's plans for the holidays?
I don't know. I'm kind of mixed right now.
No big travel or anything?
No, that's for sure I'm not going to do.
I haven't yet decided what I'm gonna do.
Don't like to travel on the holidays.
Yeah, I went down to Sacramento right before the holidays.
Yeah, I remember you saying you were going to do that.
And yeah, the highway patrol were out, and that's when my car was still all kind of skittish, so I had to pull over like every 3 or 5 miles at the best and turn the car off, reset the freaking computer, and wipe the code, wipe the computer out.
That's because the battery was messed up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now finally, where I cracked it open to look at it, because I had to take the computer out to put in the new battery pack, and yeah, it fried like 3 or 4 cells. So yeah, if I replace those cells, have another standby battery pack. Which
Well, now, didn't you do some work on it earlier? Yeah? Like you were talking about doing something on it.
Yeah, last year when I first bought the car, I rebuilt the battery pack like 2 or 3 times.
So how come it didn't last very long? Something wrong?
Because you're building it with old cells.
Oh, you're not using new stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because you're taking old cells, that haven't blown up yet, but they're about to blow up.
But you're thinking about it.
Right, exactly. So you put them in there, and
Where do you get these old cells from? Some other junk?
yeah, just junkers,
Oh, yeah.
So Dan, tell me about the rest of that meeting with the sheriff. I missed it.
Nothing spectacular.
Same as when I left.
Oh.
Oh.
When was that one?
They're going to have another meeting on the 14th.
Well, Montine sort of kind of got riled into.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the other meeting's on the 14th, right? For the neighborhood watch 14th?
January 14th.
Yeah.
Just an FYI, tomorrow Tim Grenvik will be here, and he's going to be here at 10 o'clock. So if you need to talk to him, you need to call his office out there and make an appointment. Otherwise, I guess you could just show up here and wait. But the other thing is he's bringing a social worker from the Reading VA office to talk about housing and stuff like that, and whatever else subject comes up. So come on down. You never know.
So when's
neighborhood watch. I had to leave.
I know. You said you did. Yeah. You got worked on, and then you were.
I went home.
Yeah. I figured that.
So this is gonna be tomorrow. The Reading, the representative's gonna be.
He'll be up here with Tim. They'll be here at 10 o'clock.
Might have to come down and talk to them.
Tell me about the rest of the meeting. Dan said not much happened or whatever.
Well, there was a lot of discussion about. They went through the PowerPoint, and you got the PowerPoint, right?
On that paper.
Okay, that was that sheet of paper stapled together.
Yeah.
So he went through that. I told him that I would, as far as I know, I could continue doing like just making meetings happen and arranging things and still raising, doing recruiting for this. Montine took the map that we had that he had found in their archives out in Wairika. They found all the files from the neighborhood watch that used to be here that dissolved in 2006 or something like that. And so among that was the map.
What does the map consist of?
The map is an area of patrol. So
does it show routes or something like that?
Well, it shows all the streets. If they can expand it, they can do like area at a time with addresses and information on those areas. And Montine's going to work on that. So that'll be at the next meeting. And the next meeting will probably be at the log cabin. And we talked about fundraising and maybe giving back to the log cabin because they have not been charging us rent.
I talked to him before the meeting. This neighborhood watch out of Wairika, which this is a part of, is a 501c3.
Yeah.
So they should get plenty of funding.
Well, we have to raise our funding for this area.
No, you don't.
Who did you talk to? Did you
The
talk
sheriff.
the deputy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Well, we have to buy
Because
our
I
own
told-
signs and stuff like that. That's basically what we
They should
talked about.
reimburse you, or they should make that money available. 501c3 encompasses everybody. And it comes under there, and he said, when I brought it up, because I said, you know, they're going to start talking about fundraisers and whatnot, and I said, that's fine, but it's always inadequate. They can never raise enough money. How are you going to address that? Have you thought about a 501c3 for here? He says, I've already done that.
Yeah, it's done. It's been done. Yeah. So
Then
the
if this
question
is part of that, then you are entitled to your share of that, and they are required to give that money to you
right,
guys.
but at the same time, if we want something special, I mean, are we going to fundraise and give all of our money to this one that goes to the entire county? Aren't we going to be in the same position that we are in now? Our taxes go down there and to Wairika and nothing happens?
Can I speak frank with you?
By all means. Like, when have you not?
Well, we're beating a dead horse, and I'll tell you
Yeah.
why. And unless we incorporate this area, there is not a stinking thing we can do about it.
That's right.
Because they are undermanned, they are underfunded.
Oh, yeah.
They are too far removed. In order to adequately do this, it would require at least 4 more deputies. It would require specific routes with check-in points, and he knows that I know. I've been a cop in 2 places, and I've been an attorney. If they really want to make this happen, somebody's going to have to step up and bite the bullet. And if they want to do it the right way, you can count me in. If they want to play games, if I can do you a favor, fine. But I want no part of it. You know why? Somebody's going to get in trouble. And I love Montine to death.
Yeah.
But she's going to complain because somebody did something and she called the cops and they didn't come down and arrest them. And like I said at the meeting, a crime is an act committed or omitted in violation of a public law, either commanding or forbidding it to be done, which means that it must be committed in the presence of the arresting officer unless it is a major felony. And by the time a cop gets here, that guy's going to be in Arizona.
Well, the whole emphasis on this is the fact that
they can't do it. They just
It's
can't.
information gathering is what this is.
I
And I know
understand. Okay.
there's been successes, but I'll tell you what, there's not going to be anything unless we do something about it. I mean, we are not going to be able to rely upon
If they want this
anybody.
community,
Even if we're incorporated, it's not going to work unless
Yeah.
the community participates. The community has to get behind and participate. And
if
that's
they
been
want
my
to
whole
use
thrust
this
of it.
community as an information finding unit to fill out FIs, great. Because that's all you're going to accomplish.
Oh, I don't know. I think
You're not
that
gonna,
I think
you're
there
not
will
gonna
be some.
deter any crime.
I think there's going to be some deterrent simply because
How?
you're there. Because some of these bad guys don't want to be seen.
The real bad guys could care less if you see them. You know it and I know it.
That's right. But
They're
you
not
know,
afraid of you or me or anybody
in
else.
this day of photo documentation, you know, that puts them on the spot.
It's not done.
Oh yeah.
Photo
They're
documentation is not admissible. Here's the problem. See, I've been on both sides. Here's the problem. You do all this and you do due diligence. And now you bring it to the DA. He's not going to prosecute.
Well, that's what's been happening already.
Huh?
But that's been with the non-cooperation of the community pretty much. Because what happens is something happens, people squawk about it, but they won't step up and sign their name on the dotted line and sign a complaint or say, I seen this. And that's been, and some of that is fear of reprisal. You know, I mean, somebody over on Live Oak said they don't want to report anything because they're afraid when their house is empty in the daytime that something's going to happen to it. I mean, that's a real and valid threat.
Oh, I agree, honey.
Real intelligent.
Listen, I've been pro law for many years, but I just also am against wasting time. You know, in other words, I believe in putting your money where your mouth is.
Well, that's fine if you've got money. You know?
I don't have any money, so I better keep my mouth shut, right?
I have no money and I'm not going to keep my mouth shut.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and sadly, even if we had, the police and everything like that, you got to go through, just because they're arrested, that
That doesn't mean anything.
doesn't mean
That's only a small portion of it.
Right. I mean, that's just a step in it. I mean, the DA has to step up to the plate. There's got to be a community effort, like you're saying.
Participation, yeah. We have one young lady in town has been doing bad things for years. I mean, theft, beating people up, stuff like that. She finally got caught the other day, and she's still in jail. And this last time, she stole a firearm and threatened somebody. So she now has 12 charges against her.
Wow.
12.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in jail, and they're not letting her go. So that means, 5 years of this stuff, and finally something's happening.
Uh-huh.
It can only get better as far as I'm concerned. I hope it doesn't get worse. But it's
Sadly, it's kind of like I'll describe a little situation that's going on with my mom in Sacramento. I mean, this is a drama that's been played out over freaking almost 2 decades. And this is just over animals.
Yeah.
Freaking a vicious dog.
kids or animals cause more problems.
And that it's been reported. There's a documentation trail that goes back, like I said, 2 decades. And even though they call the animal control people and stuff like that, they're all like, well, there's nothing really we can do, and crime's the same way.
Water, kids, and dogs cause the most problems. In rural America, anyway.
Yeah. Bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more of these. Another one?
Oh no, honey, thank you.
Is that helping decongest you a little bit?
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
I could get some hot sauce or something and put in it.
Mm-hmm.
That would decongest something.
I've been eating cayenne pepper. That ought to work.
That should help open you up a little bit.
Yeah, but sadly, cameras and walks and all this kind of stuff, even a presence, to a determined individual, these things are not, deterrents to getting their will. I mean, and they're most likely turn to what? Violence.
Oh no.
That's the equalizing force.
Yeah, better keep up your defenses.
Okay, she's
Has it been
busy
to
up
see you?
front. Here's one of my gifts.
Lulu, you been to see
Go.
Virginia? So she knows that you're not feeling well? No?
Uh-oh.
I have an appointment on January 2nd.
You're
Last time-
not going to
hey,
make it till January 2nd.
No, this is this bad. But last time I called and I was like this, they said, well, if you're sick, don't come in.
Yeah, he told me about that too.
You haven't called me.
Whoever took your place that day. I said, if I'm sick, don't come in. So when I'm better, it's okay? Yeah. They didn't want me to spread it around.
Oh.
They could let me in the back door.
And that's
You
the
need to
policy,
go
I think.
in. You need to come in.
What are they going to do for me?
Give you some antibiotics and make sure you're not getting pneumonia.
Can I come? I think I have walking pneumonia or bronchitis.
Why don't you walk in at 1?
What?
Yes.
I'll be there.
All right.
You going to be there and greet me?
I will
Can
be
we
there
wait,
and
Tammy?
greet you.
The back door?
She'll have her
Maybe
mask.
come through the
She'll have her
front.
protective mask on.
I'll just make sure.
I'll put my thing over.
I'll make sure to be like this, okay?
Only in a small town.
I'll say, who's that Muslim
What
woman?
am I?
That should be-
What am I?
Okay, I'm
Filling
looking
out
forward to
here.
seeing you
This
guys.
is neat.
Good to see her, Virginia.
This
Last
is
4
really neat.
digits.
You got a Muslim mask on.
A security. Okay.
Chris? You got a Muslim mask.
Please circle the
Burqa or
branch.
something, huh?
Or what?
You got burqa going on there, huh?
Whatever.
Maybe.
Should have brought my glasses with me today. They're not like
Yeah, for some reason I'm having problems focusing on it too.
Well, light
And I don't
isn't-
need glasses.
The light isn't real good here.
Active duty.
It's not real plain light, I don't think.
I guess that's probably it, eh?
Nick, what the heck was it?
Responsible. Work with a responsible, the best describes your medical insurance coverage. I think it's veterans. You get veterans coverage in medical? I go there, so I guess I do.
Yeah.
I guess I got Medicare.
Response, best describe your employment status. Broke. They don't have that in there, do they?
Mm.
Employment status. They said broke. They don't have
That's
it.
right, bro.
I'll write it in there.
It's retarded or retired. You know?
Response.
Yeah. Response or best.
Response. Insurance care. Medicare and Medi-Cal.
I should have got my flashlight on or something.
Medicare, I don't know.
Hey, Lou's got his glasses on. He was smart. He wore his glasses today.
Yeah.
Current housing. Oh, I don't want a house. Okay, no.
Yes.
Have you ever?
Yes.
Have you lost your house?
That's it?
I don't know.
Okay. There's nothing on the back.
You got risk of living, you know? I don't think so. Not anyway. Of course, now if they start cutting off Social Security or something, I might be in trouble.
Yeah.
That's what somebody was talking about. Weren't they talking about cutting back on the entitlements?
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do?
I don't
Go
know.
get a job, I guess, huh? Try to work some
Who's
extra
gonna-
work?
Who's going to hire us at our age? Nobody.
Not very
They
many.
won't say it's age. They'll lie, but they won't
Are
hire
you
you.
aware that there is a veteran service?
Well, it boils down to who will work for the least, you know. I
Mhm.
mean, and
Are you aware that the veterans medical?
freaking, I mean, that's, look at the youth, you know, and how high the unemployment rates are with them. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was bad when I was younger, but you know, it's pretty average for, you know, young person today to be, you know, unemployed or underemployed. And not by choice necessarily.
That's true.
How old are you now, Chris?
45.
45.
A youngin'.
Lou's only twice as old as you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am. My youngest is older than you are.
Well,
Louis
well-
Jr. Is he youngest?
My
I never even
youngest
thought
is
I'd
older.
make it to 30, so, you know, I'm almost 2 decades beyond that, so. Yeah, I can foresee another 2 decades, sure. We don't die in some apocalyptic fireball.
Well, given the rise of some of these diseases, that may not be a bad way to go.
Yeah, and that's another concern too, huh? What's the latest pandemic?
Just need some water. So what have you been up to, Dan? What have you been doing?
Well, I've been trying to work on a kitchen in our house for about the last 10 years and finally got the stuff together. Come to the point where if I'm going to live much longer, I better start getting it done.
Remodeling in the house is a pain in the butt.
Been putting it off too long now. Come to the point where the ultimatum is get it done. Yes, dear. Right away, dear. But quit calling me to do other things then. I'm not a multitasker.
There you
You give me one thing to get done and I'll work on it. Give me 5 things and I'll probably won't get anything done.
Oh boy. I think I will walk in at 1. I don't feel so hot.
I told you if you're sick, don't come in, huh?
Yeah.
So what do you only call him when you're well?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going all right. Nice to
I
see you
thought I
guys.
saw his car.
I'm here. I was
He's hiding
busy.
in the back room, that's all.
I was. I'm gonna snag one of these.
They're tasty.
Hey, Lou. Any better today?
No.
No. Okay, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm doing a survey.
I'm going to
It's
go
a
to
survey.
Is there any blanks
Yeah.
or just those 3? Oh, there they are. I'll go one out for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go talk to Chuck for a minute. I'll bring it back.
Sure. We're missing you, William.
I know.
We're missing you.
That's breaking your heart.
Did they make any coffee?
It's right there in the pot.
Oh, I'm going to have some.
I better have some.
Yes.
Even got Kramer. Except I don't know what my estimated income is. I should know, I guess, by now.
Tell them 0.
0 to 12. Well, I guess I don't make more than 250,000, so I'm not worried about getting my taxes increased. I mean, that's
Some more coffee, yeah.
I knew I didn't fall into the
Sure,
first group, and I was all thinking about it for a minute. It's like,
Yeah, push it
is
up.
it the second
Yeah.
group or
Wait, push it, hold it down, and just,
could it possibly be
that's
the
good, thank you.
What's that?
group above
How
that?
far does that go?
I don't know. We'll find out, Chuck.
Just a shot's good.
If not, you can take some of mine.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, well, I think we should abolish the taxes. Abolish the taxes, abolish the spending. I know how to spend my money sensibly. If the government can't spend money sensibly, we should cut off their purse strings. You know, so the sad thing is that they could cut 100% of discretionary spending right now, and that would not balance the budget. Would not balance the budget. And even if they, tax the rich like they want to, like the Democrats want to, or even if the tax cuts continue, there's not enough economic activity going on for this trickle down economics to work, or So I'm not sure how the economy is going to grow out of this predicament, with sluggish employment, sluggish real estate market, stock market sluggish. The only thing going up is oil and gold, and your grocery bill.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not knowledgeable in that area, but I've seen it come out twice, and both times it was because they had a war.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened then.
Yeah, it gets really bad to have a war, everything turns around. 20, 30 years later, have another war.
few thousand people are killed, and so they have less people to feed, I guess, huh?
Creates new jobs, everybody's working, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, I'm not saying that's the only way, I'm just saying that's what I saw.
Well, yeah, that's been history.
World War II was probably the one that got us out of the Depression. Huh?
You got that right. Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
5 terms, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, wasn't he a good comrade?
Well, he was here a long time.
4 terms.
Did he die in office?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
4 terms. He died in his
Yeah, he was just about to take the oath for under his 4th term, right before he died, right? In 40, was it December of 45 or something like that?
Yeah, you know the amazing.
Or no, it's before that.
Yeah.
Because Truman dropped the bomb on Japan. So when was that? In like the summer of 45 or something? He died.
I think it was
June.
45 or 45. 45. I think you're right.
I was still a wee one then. I was only about a year old.
You know the amazing thing about Franklin Delano Roosevelt? He was a second or a third, I can't remember now, cousin to Winston Churchill.
Oh, they're all related, man.
Yeah.
They're all related lizard people, according to David Icke.
Anyhow.
It's amazing.
Well, yeah, even like Barack Obama is like somehow related to the Queen. I mean, that's why he got invited to.
It's like, I still can't figure out how he ever got anywhere because all of a sudden he shows up.
Did you know he was given the Nobel Peace Prize?
This year?
Well, yeah, he got it right after he became president. He got it in 2009. Yeah.
Nobel Peace Prize.
Why? What did he do?
Nothing.
He was
Paid
tapped for it.
Paid somebody probably.
Well, yeah, sometimes you don't necessarily have to do anything to get an award. It's kind of like when I was getting ready to transfer because of an administrative snafu. My ship hadn't sent the proper paperwork to Washington to notify the personnel department that they had intentions on keeping my ass for an extra year because they gave me this training. And administratively, it didn't get back to Washington, right? So Washington, when it got close to my planned rotation date, they really needed recruiters really bad. So they put out this message, we really need recruiters, if you come into shore duty, go recruiting. So, yeah, they kind of like sent me these, orders like, or, you're kind of like going recruiting, And so my division officer was really pissed off, man, because like I said, they just sent me to this school, and they were supposed to keep me for another year. And then he goes and he starts like trying to bribe me by saying, "Oh yeah, we'll give you a Navy achievement if you just stay. Decline those orders. If you stay here, we'll give you a Navy Achievement Medal." And it's like, dude, if I stay, you're going to give me a Navy Achievement Medal. What? Like I haven't already earned it? Or you're just going to give me a little a candy piece now here. Oh, thanks a lot. If I stay. Well, it's beyond my control, dude. This is Washington. It's not me, But, yeah, there's so many people that get awards.
And they asked me if I wanted to stay. I said, no, thank you. I mean, I got dropped a year and a half because I was at the end of the war. I was supposed to be doing a year and a half more. And I came back from Vietnam and they said, "We really don't need you. Do you want to sign up?" I said, "Nope, thank you."
So they give you an early discharge, huh? That's good.
Well, they dropped me a year and a half.
That's good.
I was happy with that.
Hell yeah.
I spent 1 year in Vietnam. The rest of the time I just spent training or sitting around.
Good.
And what was a normal tour? Is what, 18 months?
I'd have been 4 years. I had 2.5 years. No, I would have had a total of 4 years if I would have had a normal. You know.
But I mean, like a deployment in country though was like 9 months or something though, right? Wasn't it?
I was there 12 months.
Or it was a year, right?
Yeah, but you'd be lucky if you got out in a year.
Well, no.
12 months, all
In
of a sudden
fact
becomes 18.
Well, see, the thing is, I spent.
Yeah, because I've heard of guys doing tours of like 18 months.
Well,
yeah.
you could extend that.
Sherwood, no, he didn't extend it, just circumstance. He ended up doing 3 years.
Sherwood did?
Sherwood.
Yeah, oh, Sherwood, okay.
Yeah. Rolled him over twice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's happening to guys now all the time. In the, you know, it gets close to their end of obligation of service, and because you're in this combat billet or you know whatever, you're getting extended to the end of your deployment or whatever.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Oh well.
Actually, when I was in Vietnam, the 4th Division went back to Fort Collins.
Oh really? Yeah, I don't know much about.
They had a big ceremony, all the generals and everything, you know. They retired the colors and all that, you know.
Uh-huh.
And then I had to be transferred to a different division.
Oh.
So I got to go from the 4th Division, 4th Infantry Division, the 1st Cav.
Huh.
One that has the horse blanket on their shoulder.
Yeah.
I got to be a horse blanket guy for 4 months. Horse blanket soldier.
So was it really like an apocalypse now?
What's that?
You know, like Colonel Kilgore. You know, what the.
I don't know about that.
Never seen Apocalypse Now?
Reality.
Hello. Hi,
Robert
Chris.
Duvall. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about you? Hi, Dan.
I'm enjoying this chili all over again.
Good, because there was plenty of it.
It's awesome.
Good deal.
That
So,
must be you.
That's me.
so has Doreen told you that Tim will be here tomorrow and that there's an
Yeah.
outreach worker from the Reading Clinic
That's
gonna
what he
be
said.
here? Okay. The other thing that I just found out in a meeting just half hour ago is that the VA and the tribe are going to, the VA is going to agree to pay the tribe for veterans' visits to the medical clinic here.
Oh.
So it's not taken place yet, and I don't know what it's gonna involve, but, you know.
Well, instead of going to Wairika, they can go here.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, so there's.
Well, they'll see who will they see then? The doctor.
The doctor or the PA or who, you know.
Oh, like
Whoever's there.
Chelsea or.
Yeah, whoever's there. The doctor they've got right now, who isn't permanent, I don't think, but he's a veteran.
What's
So
his
that's
name?
a possibility. His last name's Oliver, I can't remember his first name.
Oliver, you said?
Yeah, Dr. Oliver, I can't remember his
Yeah,
first name. Nice guy.
Retired orthopedic surgeon from
Yeah.
the Navy, commander.
Yeah,
Well, cool.
real nice guy, real pleasant.
Yeah, I had one trip. He really is a good guy.
So that's coming up at some point.
That's cool.
But remember Tim will be here tomorrow, so pass the word. So
That's cool.
I
That's
gotta
cool.
go back to work, I guess. So you doing okay these days, Chris?
Yeah, actually,
Cool.
looking at maybe buying a place upriver in
Awesome.
Hamburg, maybe. So
Good deal.
Maybe a landowner. Landlord.
get gentrified. Yeah.
Yeah, Hamburg's
Uh-huh.
kind of my, well, I grew up in Scott Bar, so it's like, you know, there's suburbs of each
Oh,
other. So,
That's cool.
okay, you guys take care.
Thanks, Nadine.
But yeah.
Good.
Yep, anyway.
It might be for sale. No, that one's not for sale. I have to stop and serve these.
Alright.
Yeah, that's okay.
Very last door on your left.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, goodness.
You guys getting full enough? Oh, and I'm burning it. I'm burning it.
Uh-oh. It's very good, Nadine. Thank you. I mean, Nadine.
That's okay. I answered them both.
Anyway.
Call her late for lunch.
I never.
Never call me late for lunch.
Do I look like I've been late for lunch? No.
Not too often.
No. Never.
I've been well fed over the years. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. Yeah. Well, anyway,
Yeah. But pretty mild so far, eh? Weather-wise.
well, I didn't care for all that rain we had, but I guess maybe we'll have some nice weather for a few more days, huh?
Maybe.
Well, they're saying it was supposed to be raining today, wasn't it?
Well, I heard something like that, but it doesn't look like it, does it? But yesterday I was tearing apart my garden. I was gonna go get the tiller and till it up, and about that time it started raining. Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Saved
I got
by
all
the bell.
I got all my fences down and everything, all my cages, and the next thing you do is pull everything up and rake it off and till it up.
Yep. Well, yeah, I gotta get out there and start breaking some dirt myself.
But it was like I was getting ready to do it, and my wife called and said, "Would you please?" And I said, "Oh yes." Okay.
Ah, yes. Ah, yes. But, yeah.
I see you had a experience of putting some hardwood inlayment in that one house there.
Yeah, well, the couple problems with it, floor wasn't level.
Hard to do. Did you put any kind of a paper or anything under or not?
No, it goes on top of this foam.
It's kind of a foam color.
It's
Kind of a foam
this kind of deal that you just put over the
wood.
subfloor or whatever. It can be wood, concrete, whatever. And in fact, that's what needed to be done. I needed to take a thin layer of thin set and level the whole room, because if it's
Yeah, it doesn't work.
and there's no adhesive that locks them together either. So when you lock them together, you know, if you set something over here and then it moves it down, and not only that, but then it starts vibrating and stuff.
You know, that stuff isn't that easy to put down, as everybody says.
Well, no, it is if it's flat.
Well, one thing I found too is like you have to make sure it's almost better if you have two guys, one to help you get it all lined up just right.
No, it's the flatness of the floor actually.
But then you got to be really careful and make sure the ends are butted together tight.
Well, yeah, that's tricky. But one person can work that, but when you're laying it out, though, man, invariably you get like 3 or 4 pieces together, and then you're hitting this dip in the floor or something. And on some floors, I mean, I've done it on I've done 2 different floors, and that's been the problem. And neither of the owners wanted to fix it. They just said, "Oh, we'll put it down." Okay, well, I'll put it down, man, but it's not going to work. Yeah, so.
Anyway, I got involved in fixing the 2 broken windows. One had a deviate hole in the front.
Right. Did you reglaze them?
Well, yeah, I took them out, and they took them out of town because she said, "Can't you just get a little piece of glass and put it?" No, I can't.
Yeah, you could have reglazed them.
Well, wasn't reglazable. You had to replace the window. It had a hole in it.
I'm gonna turn these in, you guys.
Okay.
But it had the one had a BB hole.
You had now, Lou?
No.
It was the one in the front room, right on the right inside of right looking straight in there.
Right.
There's a BB hole right in the middle of it.
Right, and then on the other side of the house, there's a window that needs to be replaced.
Well, the window, the whole bottom of the window was rotten.
Yeah, because the sash is freaking gone.
Anyway, and it had a piece of the glass broken, and someone had put tape over it to hold it.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried screwing it together with screws. Come on, you can't screw together a window.
Well, come on, they needed to be replaced years ago.
Anyway, we'll see what happened. She said they got it. I was trying to figure out if I could get a piece of wood or something and glue it and you know put over the other piece to hold it together because the end was right on the corner where it's rotted on it, where the
window needs to be replaced. I mean, these haphazard, Band-Aid fixes need to cease. And
that one window was totally shot. I mean, the bottom of the window the bottom board was rotten.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I took it out and I said, "Here, whatever you're gonna do with it, do it." So she brought it out and she said she got it fixed. I don't know what happened.
No.
Well, I'll see what happens. If they fix it, I'll just put it back in the hole.
I know you can probably find a nice window on Craigslist for probably $25-$50, you know.
I don't know, maybe. She didn't want to spend that kind of money though. She wanted me to find a piece of glass somewhere and just sort of put it in.
Well, even getting a piece of glass cut's like going to be $25-$30.
Well, I called up Wissenberg's in Montague and asked how much a glass. $17 for a piece of glass.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I said, well, how much do you charge if you put it in? $20 to install it.
Yeah, glaze it.
That isn't bad.
No.
$20 not bad. So anyway.
So you're in $40 to reglaze it. And like I said, you can find secondhand windows or brand new windows, like on Craigslist or whatever.
Well, maybe you can. I don't know.
For the same price or less. In fact, sometimes you can find them for free.
I'm not sure what they did, so I'm not going to worry about it. I let her decide because I know she doesn't want to spend any money, obviously.
Well, that's just a problem. I could do a lot of work for her, but there's not materials or tools to do the job, so how can I do the work?
I just said I don't have anything and I can't find a window to fix. Still have to decide what to do. I'll let her decide.
Right, and then that can take a long time sometimes.
Well, I don't care how long it takes. It's her responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
Her deal. So. I was going to see if I could figure out a way to fix that bottom board, like put another board over it.
Oh, sure, we could remanufacture the whole
but then I thought, well, she really doesn't want to pay me to do this, so maybe I'll just let her decide what to do with it.
That's what I'm saying, because that would take hours, but sometimes it's weird how she, conducts business sometimes because, it's like totally up to her because it's like if we just went out and bought the materials and did the job right the first time, it would be done right and it'd be done, But then she'll take this job like the roof over here on another house. She'll have me go out and put a tarp on it or do these Band-Aid fixes.
What are you talking about?
Rentals. Maintenance on rentals.
Well,
she'll have me do that instead of, putting up the couple $100 and a couple days labor for me to take care of the problem, to fix the roof so it doesn't leak.
Well, the tarp only costs $100.
Right, but I've gone up and done that. I've spent almost as much doing that now in the last year. You could have thrown on $100 worth of materials and it's permanently fixed. Yeah. You see where I'm coming from? But she's going to have to put up another tarp next year. Yeah. So how economical is this? This annual? I don't know. Maybe the annual expense is very small compared to paying for materials and labor to do it right. I don't know. It seems really crazy to me. I wouldn't do that with my property. I would fix it and be done.
Well, I guess you'll get to find out, huh?
Well, that's what I mean.
I'll find out.
Yeah. You know, I mean, whatever. I'm not complaining, but in working for her, that is my chief concern. Is just I'll do whatever you like. If you want to pay me to move the pile of rocks over here, and then tomorrow you want to pay me to move the pile of rocks back to where it came from, hey, that's great. I don't care. I'll move the pile of rocks wherever you want. If you're paying me, I'll do whatever you like. It just doesn't. Don't listen to me when I recommend something that makes more sense.
Well, don't worry about it. Let them decide.
Oh no. Because in the Navy, I knew how to get stuff, because I was always laid with those kinds of, duties and responsibilities. You got to get this done, dude. And you have no materials, no nothing. Not only that, or maybe you're supposed to have it.
What did you do in the Navy?
I was a fire controlman. I worked on a gun system.
Really?
Yeah.
You aboard ship?
Yeah, USS Dubuque and USS Prairie. USS Dubuque, LPZ-8.
That's interesting.
USS Prairie, oldest and the best, AD-15. World War II destroyer tender.
Yeah, that was a DDE. Yeah, I was in the Navy, that's why I asked.
But, yeah, glorious. Love my days in the Navy. Damn, I should have took that NAM, stayed in the Navy, stayed in Japan.
Well, hindsight.
That would have done more to advance me than recruiting did. That's for sure.
Well, like the guy that jumped off the big building, it seemed like a good idea.
Yeah, at the time, yeah.
You never know.
It was glorious until that moment when I hit the ground.
I often thought, and every once in a while, I think I should have stayed and retired.
Well, that was my intention.
I wanted out, and so I got out. My dad,
I never had any desire saying I was selected and chosen to represent my country. So
well, they would have grounded me. They would have put me behind a desk. Because back in those days, they had very stringent age requirements, and that would have drove me nuts, Dan. I couldn't do that. So I got out and went in the National Guard, Air National Guard.
Oh. Yeah. My intention was to come back to my job. I did.
Yeah. My sole thing is I wanted to fly, continue flying, and airlines weren't into hiring, fighter pilots.
Like the fast in, fast out.
Yeah, they didn't want any jobs.
One of my IPs he was a fighter pilot. And he said, he always instructed me to have a tight pattern. Down and out. Get it done with. And he said, look at that guy over there. He's a bomber pilot. He was another different IP. And he said, look at his approach. It's like a bomber coming in slow and low.
Yeah, but he's not landing in action like you were.
Oh, but
you better get in and get out.
But
he's coming into an airstrip.
It was kind of interesting how this my IP, his name was Robert Clooney was his name. And he said he used to fly fighters, fighter jets and stuff. And he said, no, watch it. His other friend of his was another instructor pilot. He had been in the Air Force or something. And he used to fly the big old bombers and stuff. And he said, well, watch his approach. And I'd watch him every time. He'd say, low and slow, kind of a long, gradual approach.
Yeah, that's true.
And anyway, but he was always after me. Get down there. Get it done with. Get down there.
Well, you had a different set of circumstances.
Well, the other guy had
an approach like they did, and they'd have shot your ass.
Well, the other pilot, the other student pilot was the same as me, but just so happened that he was being trained by a different kind of instructor. And I'm sure that in time he learned how to do it right.
In and out's the name of the game. Depends, you know, if you're coming into a big old landing strip with a 29 or a 52 or 25 or whatever, that's a different ballgame. But you know, they're landing at an air base, even if it's temporary. They're not landing in a fire zone. There's
Well,
a hell of a difference.
we used to land these little pinnacles up in the side of a mountain
Oh yeah.
and drop these guys. These guys, we'd hold the skid and they'd jump off the side. And you know, we hold it about 2 or 3 feet from the edge, you know, and they just jump out with all this
In
gear.
Korea, many times I did a little ground support for that kind of stuff. It's, yeah, no, that's no piece of cake, you know.
Oh well.
Problem is you got to pay attention to what you're doing,
Yeah.
and they're trying to shoot your ass down, you know. So.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, you know, so I couldn't get a job. Tried to get a job with TWA, and they just, you know, they were polite, but they let you know, no, you know, we're not interested in you guys.
Now, if you're flying bombers, maybe.
Yeah, if I was in the Air Force flying B-29s or B-24s or B-25s or
Well, that's more.
B-52s.
And of course, those guys were all. Of course, you were per instrument qualified and everything, but not quite to the level that they were, because they were like on, you know, they were out flying instruments probably continuously.
Who's that?
And the big bombers and stuff.
No, they didn't.
No.
The guys that flew instrument was us, the Navy. We flew intercept. Stop and think about this. When you went on a mission, you left a fixed base, went to a fixed spot, could use dead reckoning, whatever you want, or ANN, flew back to a fixed base. When I left a ship that was moving to a target that was variable, to return to a ship that had been moving and land on that moving ship. Intercept and whatnot, and flying by instrumentation, in those days the G6, that was all Navy. The Army didn't start using instruments, and it wasn't really instruments. It was radio frequencies, and the British started it.
Well,
They started bombing Berlin.
Well, the only thing we used instruments for was like at night or something. You know, it was helpful.
I don't know about.
It was like if we were trained, so if we flew in IFR, like flew into it, we wouldn't be confused. We could get out of it. But as far as filing and flying the instrument, flight, you know, flight, what do you call it? Flight plans or whatever. We never did that much, you know.
Well, you had a different set of circumstances, Dan. You stop and think about it. Number one, most of the time when you're going in either to drop stuff off or pick up guys or whatever, okay, you're flying maybe 50 to 100 feet off the trees. So IFR, to set a heading, whatever, say the 100, you know, or 180, and then when you get there, flip it around 180 so that you got the return heading. You really didn't have time for that. You're flying over, you know, the top of the trees to a D zone. You get to the DZ, you do your job, turn right around, and you get back any goddamn way you can.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it looks really good on the charts and when you're in the classroom, but when you're out there, it's a different ballgame.
Well, like they told us, they said you're not instrument qualified. It's just there to get you in and out. You know,
Well,
get you home. Like, you know.
Well, the only reason we were all instrument rated, because we had to, Dan.
Oh yeah, well.
You know, when you leave a moving station and returning to
like you were explaining that, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you know, you don't have any choice because they can't anchor and wait for you to get back. You know, and then they'll get blown out of the water. Yeah. So while you're doing it, the hardest thing is in combat because what people don't stop and think about, you know, and they say, well, this, you know, looks okay. But stop and think about a flight deck, like on the USS Philippine Sea that I was on, that had just been under attack, a couple of bomb holes in the flight deck. Guys are out there repairing the deck, fighting the fire. The gunners are fighting the planes, and you're coming into land to refuel, rearm, and take off again.
Yeah, well,
not exactly the way it looks on, you know, in the movies.
Yeah.
Different ballgame.
Well, if there was a casualty on the flight deck, that must have been utter chaos.
Well,
Yeah,
anyway.
right. And I'll tell you the things that happen that, and you don't have time to repair or do whatever, is that every once in a while, number one or number two prostate pendant will snap. And those guys are out there working and literally cuts them in half or take your head right. That's a big old 1-inch cable.
Mm-hmm.
And, and you just keep working. They keep working the deck, you keep coming in, you land, you refuel, and they got massive refueling systems. They can fill you in about 45 seconds to a minute. And then while they're doing that, the guys
Were you somewhere, Lou? Did you turn in?
I brought them all.
I was just gonna say, can't they basically like land you, take you back over to the cat? I mean, basically, take it easy, Dan. Aren't they basically doing this simultaneously? I mean, after you land, they're grabbing the aircraft.
The minute the aircraft stops, when you're resting, you're completely stopped. They're on you, and you're rolling.
We're rolling. We're taking you over here to the cat and freaking launch you off again.
And they'll have 2 cats set there, and yeah, you're right. It's pretty hectic.
Yeah, and it's just like a ballet, because especially all the different rates,
Whenever guys would ask you get nervous, who the hell has time to get nervous? You come in, boom, 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 you're off again. That's
well, flight deck's one of the most dangerous places in Navy.
Well, I wouldn't want to be a flight crew, flight deck crew. Them guys
pretty freaking.
One of those cross deck pendants breaks.
Why the chili?
That sucker.
No.
And then, when it's broken, off to the side, in a combat situation, they don't have time to replace it, so now you got to hit number 2 or 3 because it's gone. And usually, ironically, the one that's gone is number 2. So now you're either going to hit number 1, which they don't want you to do as a rule, or you're hitting number 3 most of the time. Number 1 is right on the fantail, and if you misjudge that, you fly into the, after part of the ship.
Right.
Yeah, but it's I had a lot of admiration for those guys on the deck. I mean, just fire blazing and they're fighting. And planes, they don't stop and wait for you to finish. They continue strafing you.
Oh yeah, is that like a timeout? We got a casualty over here.
We got to fix this.
Timeout.
Yeah, they keep
There's
bombing.
more coffee if somebody wants more coffee.
Not me, thank you, honey. They keep bombing and they keep strafing the deck, and them guys just keep working like nothing's happening. But that takes and then you get campaign ribbons and all that for being there. Now those are the guys that earn it. A guy like me, I didn't really earn it. Shit. Land, I go down below, take a hot shower, have a hot meal, watch a movie, sleep in a nice dry warm bed. These other guys are out there busting their ass, sleeping in holes. And, there's no justice in the war. The guys who really deserve it. I used to look at those guys because, when you're doing ground support, you come in pretty low, 40, 50 feet. So you get to see pretty much everything. And there's guys out there freezing their ass off. You can see there's snow and ice and mud and water in the bottom of those holes, trenches, And they're sitting in there, sleeping in there, eating in there. What the hell kind of a life is that? Who in their right mind wants to do that? I tell you, I never saw one goddamn senator or representative out there fighting. They're over there, rah, rah, go guys, yeah, go shit. You go.
Yeah. Well, that's.
There'd be no wars, I'll tell you that.
Ooh, that's for sure.
Because all those guys are in there. I remember way back when it first started, it was a little before your time. Guys are over there getting killed. They weren't even eligible to vote. But they could die for their country. But they couldn't vote for it. But you can die, it's okay. No problem. Vote? Oh no, you're not old enough to vote. You're old enough to die. I could never understand that. That had to be the biggest crock of shit. Give parents permission to take you in there at 17. If you're lucky, you could die by the time you're 18, It's a young man's war. They're young, they're tough, they don't know any better. and they follow orders, most of them. But I got news for you. You get the Congress and the Chamber of Commerce and the House of Representatives, to get all those officials and the reps. You're right, guys, we gotta go to war. Show up at Camp David tomorrow morning. See how many wars you have. Tell them fat, sassy Russians and all them other guys. Tell them fat and sassy, Arabs and Israelites that are up there at the top in their luxurious palaces with 50 wives. Tell them you gotta go war tomorrow. Grab your rifle. Screw you. Let's stand here, right? Yeah, well, so much for the war. It reminds me, when I got out and I was in business, I had a guy that I looked up to. His name was Xavier, a Jewish guy, a very smart businessman. Came to the club one day and he says, "Hey, I ran into a deal. Good deal for you, Louis. You can get in for 50 grand. I said, "Okay." So I'm sitting down. He's gonna go over it with me. I said, "How much you put in it, Davey?" I'm gonna try to match it. He says, "I didn't put anything in it." I said, "Wait a minute. I thought you said it was a good deal." I said it was a good deal for you.
Not for me.
That's the war. This is a good war for you, not for me. No. God bless. Don't worry. When you come back, we'll give you a few pennies to go to college. Crock of shit. But on the other hand, the individual units, I got to tell you, the Navy, they gave me a training that would have cost me 100 times what I would have earned on the outside. I would have never got that kind of training.
Oh yeah.
Nowhere.
Bar none. Yeah, exactly. The training you get in the Navy is superior.
I could fly any damn thing in those days. Well, not. I had occasion to go to Hawaii a few years back when I was seeing this young lady, and her brother was a flight surgeon over there in Hawaii. So anyway, he arranged for me to go up in a plane, and I thought I was going to ride. It was tandem. Thought I was going to ride in the back, and I got there and check you out, beforehand. And he stuck me up front. He said, "Go for it." And the thing I remember is I was rolling down the runway, and the minute I was at rotation, I sucked up the wheels, and this plane literally just 85 degrees.
Straight up, huh?
Straight up. Unbelievable. I never had anything like that, when I was in shit. Like that when I was in right down and sitting on the ground. What a hell of an airplane. I could fly that thing at Mach 1, 100 feet off the ocean. And you could see the water sucking up into a big rooster tail behind
it.
Man, what an awesome plane. Nowadays, I look at that stuff they got, I couldn't even turn over the engine, let alone fly. I wouldn't have a clue. Wouldn't have a clue. I went to Lemoore Air Station one time, gave a guy a ride, pulled into the air station, and there's my old F9 F fighter jet in the playground, stripped off, so that kids could climb over and climb it.
Right.
Because it was all outdated and all. And I'm going, wait a minute, I just flew that yesterday. I've been out since 1953.
Wow.
Been out a while. But I got a hell of a training. Didn't think much of the war situation. Thought even less of Korea. Police action, my ass. Lost 2 friends over there. One guy was my wingman. That's some police action. Somebody ought to tell his mother, because he's just as dead. Those are the things that bother me. Not the dying or the fighting. It's the aftermath of it. When they do this, play it down. Oh, it was only police action.
Right, or try to remove your honor from you. I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean.
Why don't they tell it like it is? You know, and then they always put the blame on the other folks. You know, oh, they're doing this and they're doing that. What the hell do you think we were doing? No, you go in there and you make a run, and we fly escort, and they do a bombing run. We have very special bombs that if they get near a house, they won't blow up. See, they go off somewhere else, so we don't kill any civilians. Yeah, right.
Smart weapons.
Yeah, bullshit.
Smart weapons. They avoid the little children.
Yeah, no women, no kids, you know, no civilians.
Only terrorists. Yeah,
Military installation and terrorists. You know,
yeah,
right?
terrorists targeting smart bombs. Yeah.
If I had a fucking dollar for every bomb I dropped, I'd be in good shape. No, but you know what? Luckily, when you're young like that, you don't think about those things. I think if you thought about those things, I don't think you could do your job. I think you'd either be in the brig or you'd be dead.
Yeah.
You wouldn't perform. I never ever once ever thought that I would die. Never even enters your head. Good thing. It's a good thing. And that's not just me, that's every young man in every branch of the service. A comedian did a stand-up comedy about that one that was funny enough. He was pretending to be Japanese. And he's going through this routine where they're telling him what to do on this kamikaze flight, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he's going in two voices and he listens and he goes, "You want me to do what? You fucking crazy?"
No way.
Yeah, it was really a funny skit.
Here, obviously you need more sake. Here.
Yeah, you want me to do what?
You need more sake. Here, let's tell you more about the mission. Drink more sake.
But I don't have enough fuel to get back. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about that. Here, more sake. Here, we're gonna load up the cockpit with even more.
That's on a need to know basis. Don't worry about it.
We'll make sure you're plenty tickled so you can carry through this dastardly deed.
Oh, God, that was funny. You know what the sad thing about? In some areas I felt, I guess, compassion is the word. You know, empathy for some of the guys in the Korean Air Force. Because those were the guys that we were fighting. Terribly trained. They didn't have a clue what to do with that airplane. They got up in the air. If they were coming straight at you, they made a risk. If they missed it, they were dead. They were all over. It got to be to where you felt so bad you wouldn't even shoot them. You know, they were kids. They didn't know a damn thing. They could just about get off the ground. You know, God get lucky and get on your six, and you do a loop. You just keep going. You know what to do. Hello? Hey, over here. You're supposed to follow me.
Well, and then if they don't have the training to go along with that weapon, it's pretty
They didn't have any
senseless.
training at all.
I mean, it's
Every once in a while you'd get one guy who was good, but most of the time, all the time that I saw it happen, it was always a Russian pilot. It wasn't a Korean.
Mm.
Now, they were good, but they were trained. Korean guys, you know, they could get it off the ground. They were fighter pilots. Boy. I mean, sure, Jesus. It's almost like you want to tell them, hold still, smile, thank you. Ah, what a shame. That was really a shame, that really was. And then there were kind of funny aspects too. They used to get the civilians that had these little fishing boats that were made out of bamboo reeds and whatnot, you know, they looked like an oversized canoe.
Mm-hmm.
And they would run ammo for the military, you know. Well, of course, you know, we got recon this stuff and they found out, so they said we told us to strafe them, but they looked like guys fishing, you know, with these boats. So what we would do is we'd fly over them, flap our wings, and come around and give them a warning that we're coming. I want to see them guys bail out of those boats. You hit one of those boats, boom, very explosive fish. Boy, they would, the minute you flew over and whacked your wings, they would bail out of those things. Their loyalty went down the drain. That was comical because nobody got hurt, you know. I don't think. Anyway, I don't know. At first we thought, why do we have to stray fishing boats? Because they weren't fishing. Oh, God. I got a picture that we made a raid on one of these train truss bridges. We also did the bridges at Tokovary. But some of the things, every once in a while, the guy that goes along with it will give you an aerial. Like I got an aerial of me flying off the North Coast. And I got an aerial of that bridge that we had. I got a shot, they took a shot of our carrier with snow on it, baby. I mean, cold.
Snow.
See all the aircraft there and see that? No. I ain't going on that stuff. So somebody else.
Well, that's possible in the.
One of these days I'll bring. I have a couple of photo albums. Maybe I'll bring it in or whatever.
Oh, that'd be wonderful to see, man.
Yeah.
I
Got the patches, my plaque and my name tag and kind of crap. Got the patch from Fighter Squad and Top Gun School. That was quite an experience. The instructors down there.
So was that at Miramar too? Or?
Yeah, Miramar. Yeah, what they call Fighter Town.
Mm-hmm.
Except they're not there anymore. A friend of mine lives out in the desert, and he wrote me a letter. And they moved to what's that town out in the desert? Can't remember now. But they're out in the desert.
New Mexico.
No, right here in the United States, in California.
Down there, Vandenberg.
You're going down 395. Probably maybe 100 miles north of San Bernardino. God, I know the name of it very well, but I can't. My mind doesn't work well anymore.
There's there's a couple.
Yeah. Anyway, they're not at Miramar anymore, which kind of surprised me. But if you think about it, it makes sense because they could do a lot more warfare practice out in the desert, and they can't try to shoot up the islands. Like they can't use San Clemente Island anymore. That used to be a target island, which lies just south of Catalina. But yeah, I was surprised when they moved. Yeah, anyway, it was in Miramar. That's what brought me to California. Got to Miramar, and of course, after you're there a few weeks, get a weekend pass. I said, geez, I like this place.
Yeah, California's pretty nice.
It beats the hell out of that New England weather.
Especially in December, yeah.
I think I'm going to come visit for a few years. Been there ever since. Yeah. Wow. Long time ago.
Yeah, well, I left and came back, so yeah, there is something to it.
Yeah, I almost did, but I almost went to Littleton, Colorado, just south of Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Good hunting, good fishing, good skiing. It's kind of like the things I like to do, my family too. So almost. I stopped there on the way out. My then wife had some relatives that lived there. While I was there, I met the chief of police and the DA, and they offered me a job, I'm like, take this, But I really want to see California. I came out here and I never did that. They used to call me about once every other week. I'm not coming back. I said, no, thank you. Thanks for the offer. But I liked California. Of course, it was better then than it is now. It's too bad.
Yeah,
I guess all things change.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that we gotta accept, that things aren't always the same, and if we're gonna try to recognize that change and try to change it for the better,
I'm not sure we'd like it if it stayed the same.
No, that'd be kind of boring, wouldn't it?
I think I'm gonna go use their little boys' room and then I'll catch you later.
All right, Lou. It's great talking to you.
And I think I'll go to the clinic.
Go to sick call.
Well, I guess. I might try to enlist me again.
Ting, 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 ting. Ting, 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 ting.